Get the pay right to the sight sex. Leave the fire and the roof style stuff. Said, grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Du Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Du Valley.
Good evening and welcome to a very special Miller's Monday here on KB Terrace Talk, as we welcome an ex-legend, some might say, a really good or brilliant centre-back in my day, Ryan Creswell. Ryan, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. How are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. Thanks for asking me to come on. It's a pleasure.
No problem. And with me, I think deserves to be on because it was this man who got Ryan onto the podcast. Pete, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, all good evening, Ryan. Looking forward to the season, Bez. Hopefully we can get that promotion. I've said from the start. I said we'll win league, and I think we will still.
What, even after Saturday's performance?
Yeah. It's West Brom, mate. I didn't expect us to beat a championship side, to be fair. It's different.
Okay.
We're in League 2 now, mate, so we should be smashing it.
Yeah, that is true, to be fair. Right, what we'll do, we'll anyone who's got any questions for Ryan, just put them in the comments, and I'll make sure that we get them read out. Ryan will probably stay on for 20 to 30 minutes, and then the next half we'll probably discuss the game on Saturday. So, Ryan, the first thing I want to kind of tell you was when I would have been middle 20s when you were playing for Rotherham, early 20s, middle 20s, and we always used to have this thing where you were always guaranteed a goal, and I used to have a mate who literally would put 50 quid on you every single game to score a goal at any time because the odds were astronomical, can't say it, were high, and you'd never let us down. I remember the Accrington one specifically where obviously he scored it last minute, and it made him quite a lot of money. So you were actually one of our greatest goal scoring defenders, I think. Is that something you always had in you from a young age?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was. There's no better feeling than scoring, especially for your own town club. There's some good ones, some memorable ones, to be honest. But the one away at Accrington is the most special one for me. What a day, what an afternoon, and for it to be the winner in the last minute, it was brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. But just going back to scoring the goals, initially Ronnie used to make a point of trying to get me free in the box to go and attack it. So we were all on the same page. We all kind of knew that. And I thrived on that, the trust that he put in me to make sure that I went and got on the end of it. And even in most recently in the Legends game, he did the same thing. And I went and scored again. And it was like, it just brought back so many memories. Just another header and Ronnie stood in the dugout. Good times.
Yeah, good times. So am I right in thinking you started at Sheffield United and Rotherham got you from Sheffield United? That's correct, isn't it? And am I also right in thinking that there was actually a game at Millmore where I think we must have run out of strikers and you actually played up front? Am I right? Am I right there?
So wow, that is back in the day. Chris O'Grady and the Morecambe goalkeeper clashed heads, and it was quite a bad incident, to be honest. The scars and anyway,
really?
So
okay.
Chris had to come off, and there were no target man really on the bench. And if you can remember, Jamie Anderson, we both went on loan at the same time, and he just said to me on the bench, "Why don't you tell the gaffer that you can play up front?" And he heard us, Mark Robbins at the time. He heard us, and he said, "Can you play up front?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "When was the last time you played up front?" I said, 3 weeks ago in the Sheffield derby. I played up front for Sheffield United, reserves against Sheffield Wednesday. He went, "Get ready." So I did a warm up, got ready, and his final words were, "Are you sure you can play?" And I said, "Gaffer, trust me." I said, "Trust me." I said, "I'll cause havoc." And he went, "Right." So I went on, and we were losing 2-0. We ended up winning 3-2. And I just put myself about. I always remember when I won the first flick on, because the fans had not seen anybody win a flick on for 45, 50 minutes. And then they all cheered and the whole place, it changed. Steve Brogan scored a penalty that day. Jamie Yates scored. And I still have a really close relationship with them two today. But yeah, played up front in that game, and it stood us in good stead.
Yeah, I do remember it like it was yesterday, funnily enough. And you're right, we were 2-0 down and won the game 3-2. Pete, so obviously, I know you obviously know of Mr. Creswell. What's some of your favourite memories of Ryan growing up?
I think I went down first.
I put you on the pressure. I know that.
Obviously, when he come on loan from Sheffield United, I think we played Barnet away. I think you come on as right back, didn't you?
I made my league debut that day at right back. Yeah.
Because I went down and I was like, I think, did we lose?
Yeah, 2-0.
With Jason Punch, no score.
Yeah, Jason Punching. Yeah. He played left wing as I played right back in my league debut.
Ouch.
You're right back. I thought playing him right back. He's not right back, is he? He's obviously centre half. That's the one I just remember because I went down with Mick Palin on. I think on coach, obviously, and they put you right back. And what other one that stood out? When you come back with Southend.
Yes, that were a good day. Not so much for the Millers, but it was a fantastic day for me.
Up front now, what's his name? Aspelonga, what it?
I can't say Asombalonga.
Did he get
Asombalonga? No, so Brick got one. I think Brick got two, and Martin got the other. 3-0, weren't it? And I give it the old. I wasn't then. Chris Barker, God bless him, he was Richie Barker's late brother. He was a captain, and it were about 80 minutes, and we're winning 3-0. Graham Coughlin, ex-Rotherham skipper, is the assistant manager, and he's like player assistant manager. And 80th minute, I'm getting a bit of cramp in my hamstrings, and I thought, we're 3-0 up. I'm going to milk this. So I looked over to the bench and Coco's going, "Don't you dare. Don't you dare." And I've gone down, I've sat on the pitch. Physio comes on, I said, "Listen, I'm cramping up like quite bad here. My hamstrings into my calves." I said, "I'll carry on," but then he went, "No, we're not carrying on. We're 3-0 up. Coco can come on." So then obviously I gets the standing ovation. We won 3-0 and the fans were brilliant. But Coco, the thing that I loved the most about that day is Coco was fuming. But he had to come on for the last 10 minutes. But we managed to keep a clean sheet. We won 3-0. It were a good afternoon for us. And Rotherham tried the best to sign Britt.
Really? Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
They tried the best to sign him. And then ended up getting the £1.2 million move to Peterborough.
Were you at Watford?
Yeah, we come on loan from Watford to Southend, and then Peterborough bought him from Watford for like 1.2 million. And then he went on had an amazing career.
Yeah, was a good player.
Who was the manager of Rotherham at the time? Was that Robbins?
No. So when we went back to New York Stadium, we beat us 3-0. It was Steve Evans. He was
right. So just on Mark Robbins, so you said it was Mark Robbins who signed you. Now, I've actually said on this podcast how much I really rate Mark Robbins, and because he doesn't really get a lot of credit because obviously he took over in League Two. They obviously got a lot of points deducted over a course of, I think, 2 or 3 seasons, and therefore he's never got any credit. And you look what he's done now, and obviously taking Coventry to the playoff final and what have you. I've always rated him. What was he like to play under? And bearing in mind that he would have only been in the job maybe 6 months when you came. So could you tell that he was a young manager, or did he just automatically have that insane managerial presence, let's say?
Yeah, I think his organisation, and he had Brex with him at the time, that were really good guidance for him. He knew what he wanted from the team. He worked on the structure. He had a plan, put it in place. You kind of knew. To me, he were a manager. I mean, I was 18-year-old when I come on loan. I come on loan initially, and then it weren't until 2 years later when I re-signed. Ronnie Moore signed me. But when I came on loan, and Matt Robbins was the manager. Like I grew up at Millmore watching Matt Robbins, Alan Lee, Sedgwick, Monkey, like Brano and all these lot. It were good. Like when he spoke, I listened because I wanted to hang on to every word that he had to say. And I felt like he had that with the dressing room. You know, like on reflection, looking back, he was a young manager, and he has gone on and had an unbelievable managerial career in terms of the Football League.
Could you see that then, though? Could you see that he was going to be this manager
To me,
who was like a
yeah,
manager?
yeah, I think the honest answer is, to me back then, I already saw him as that. But on reflection now, looking back, I get that he were a young manager. He'd only been in the job 6 months, but the way he handled himself and conducted himself and spoke to players, and because I come on loan and he was already the manager, I took him as the manager. But I think, like, I don't want to put words into people's mouths, but like Jamie Yates, Steve Brogan, and Mike Newsham, and all these sorts of players, they knew him when he weren't the manager. So it becomes a different conversation between someone who used to be either an ex-coach or teammate to them being the manager. The level of respect I had for him, he were already a gaffer. The level of respect they had for him was one of a friendship, into then having to respect him as the manager. And I think that's what you tend to find with young managers that are coming through. The need to kind of have a clean slate amongst the group to get the best out of the group.
Well, what is interesting, he's saying that as well, is if you look at Mark Robins, he actually was the one who probably played the majority of youngsters, or brought a lot of youngsters through, because like you said, Jamie Yates, Mark Newsham, etc., Stephen Brogan, I think that period, I get Rotherham probably didn't have a lot of money at the time, which is one of the reasons these players came through. But I get the impression that did Mark Robins, was he the youth manager, and then he then just got the caretaker's role, then he got permanent role? Is that right? Okay.
I think so, yeah. But as well, I think that we've got to remember this. Rotherham were in League Two, and they had, at the time, what was perceived to be some good lads coming through the academy. And fast forward now, 20 years, and the academy system's changed a little bit in terms of structures, especially in South Yorkshire, when you've got at the top of the tree Sheffield United, then you've got Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, Doncaster, Rotherham, and they're at the bottom of the pecking order really with the category that they're at. And I think the last few years they've kind of struggled with getting players to come into the first team from the academy to stay in the first team, to go and pave an actual career in the Football League. Well, I think the best thing now is that the back in League Two, if you're taking the positives, the back in League Two, it gives the young lads an opportunity to be a part of it and hopefully grow with the club. I always say this to people, because they ain't got a gap between the 18s and the first team at Rotherham, they've got to be ready. And it's such a big gap. It's such a big gap. And if it's League One Championship, the gap's even bigger, and it's just unrealistic. It's not going to happen. But now, being back in League Two, and I know that the academy and the club, it's a bit, in recent years, it's not been shining itself in good light.
No.
There's an opportunity now to get to a level where the academy can get up to scratch and maybe hand over some players like Steve Brogan, Jamie Yates, Mike Newsham, Ryan Taylor. I mean, Ryan Taylor went and had an unbelievable career.
He did, yeah.
And didn't really stay at Rotherham that long in the first team capacity, but went on to bigger and better things. So hopefully we can get the next generation through, and it stands us in good stead.
How good was Brogan before he got injured, Ryan? I know those teams looking him.
Brog. Do you know what, mate? He wand of a left foot, set pieces, and I said this now. His set pieces, he would be on set pieces in the Football League. Like, he would. His left foot is an absolute wand in putting.
Was the Everton thing a true rumour then? Was it Everton? I think
they were like, the Everton, Tottenham. I think there were a few clubs, because he were 17, 18 when he broke onto the scene. Like, and 17, 18, if you think about that these days, how many 17-year-olds are starting for Rotherham every week now?
Zero.
From Rotherham. And that have got the ability to continually stay in the side. And Brog's had that. Tails probably a little bit of a later developer in terms of probably 2 years, 3 years later.
Yeah.
To suit his game. But Brog's was, He were really good, and I remember the tackle.
MK Dons, was it Willie Garay, weren't it? Yeah.
Willie Garay, the goalkeeper. Just one of them things, innit? And it never really, like, I wouldn't say it put stumbling blocks for Broggs. I think that the injury did, it hampered his progression in the game, but he's still just as bubbly as he ever were. It never changed him. Football never changed him. And he went and had a non-league career for 18 years. So he's enjoyed his football. I just wish there were more characters and players like him coming through the system at Rotherham now, because I think the town need it.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. I'm going to just go through some comments now. I'm only going to pick out comments related to Ryan. So, Kaylee, I know, Kaylee, you've done a lot. So I will read them later on in the show. So just bear with me. I've got Lee Bush, the owner. Good evening, lads. So good evening, Lee. Cullamore UFC. Ryan, did you score 9 goals for us? So I don't know how many you scored. I know you scored a lot for a defender. But was it 9?
Yeah, but it weren't far. I bet it weren't far off. Yeah, might be more, to be honest.
We've probably do a bit of fact. We better do a fact check on that. I'll let you do that for you if you can. Yeah. Jake IFC, hi Ryan. Congrats on your move to Doncaster coaching. How are you finding it, mate?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Do you know what? So I've been in non-league management for the past 5 years, and managing in non-league, you can appreciate it's different to full-time football, because you want to get the lads Tuesday, Thursday evenings, Saturdays, or if you've got a midweek game, and you can't really implement that much of a style, because these lads have just done 8-9 hours of work, and then they're coming to training, and then you're trying to get the best out of them in a shape on a Saturday. And so the managing side of it, what I learned and developed from that is the difficult conversations with people, in terms of telling them why they're not playing, telling them why I think they need to move on, new players are coming in, and just having them honest, hard conversations. I feel like I've managed to learn that, and just it's not as easy as just tell them the truth. There's a way in which you speak to people.
Yeah.
And I think I've managed to. I've got to that stage. I understand systems and formations. I understand what I'm looking at in opposition analysis. I understand all that type of things. But what I haven't done in the last 5 years is a lot of coaching, where I'm on the grass, I've got a stopwatch and a whistle, I'm setting up the sessions, and I'm dictating, and I'm telling the players what I'm expecting from the practice, and before, during, after, and then analysing the practice, and then analysing the practice into the game. Especially in a full-time setting, it's completely different. You've got so much access to everything data-wise, and I do still say to these data-driven employees at football clubs that these aren't painted on. So I can see if a player's struggling, and if, just an example, like if a player's been injured and you're 2-0 down and you need him to come on, and some guy with a laptop says, who's got a degree, fair play, like you've earned it, says he can't play. He can only play the last 10. I'll make that decision.
Yeah.
Like are these fans shouting at you, or are they shouting at me? And does he look fit to you? He looks fit to me. And you put him on. Now I'm finding that transition in the coaching at Doncaster the difficult part, because whilst we are looking after players and their health, they're professional footballers, and their job is to be on the grass. So there's a fine line between risking them and leaving it all on the grass. And I think that we're coming away from leaving it all on the grass. And I think it's an easy out. And I honestly think it's an easy out for some players. I think that, and I will say it, I think last season at Rotherham, a lot of players used it as an out. Saying they were injured when really.
Did you hear that, right?
That is what?
Did you hear rumours about players refusing to play? Then is that
no? I didn't hear that. No, nothing. That I get no information from inside the dressing room.
Oh, right,
but from the outside looking in, like I've been in them dressing rooms and I've been in them scenarios where you're playing. Like, you're not in a relegation fight with 3 months to go, and what, you can't come to training because I read a story that someone tried to phone in sick. Like, what?
Right. Okay.
Like you've got to. You can't miss these opportunities, and I think that quite a lot of the squad last season, hence the reason the season was what it was, used the laptop guys and the stats and to their advantage in saying that they're injured and not for me, especially when we know that the Rotherham United way is just run through brick walls. You can lose a game of football, but there's a way in which you lose it, and they weren't losing the games of football in the way in which we want to see it. And that's just my honest opinion on last season. When players throw the towel in, there's literally nothing that the staff can do, because it's got to a point where they ain't got the fight. And if they ain't got the fight, they're not going to make the club next season. Hence the big clear out.
Yeah.
People that are in power, they're not daft. They know that. And they've had the clear out, learnt the lesson and had the clear out. I
do think as well, though, I mean, I don't want to speak about Hampshire, but I do think a lot of it is on the manager, because we have actually got a great example of, obviously us fans, we never know what's going on behind the scenes. We never know. Yep. But there was a good example where the fans could tell on the pitch that was happening. And that was in the Championship when Neil Warnock came in, because Rotherham were going down that season, and there were players like, including Lee Frecklington, who was a bit of a legend at Rotherham. He, I don't think, were playing. He was only half-heartedly playing. Neil Warnock came in, and all of a sudden these players are become available, and they're playing 90 minutes, and they're running through brick walls, like you said. It must have obviously been something that Neil Warnock was good at in terms of, psychologically, to if you like, turn these players who were, oh, my knees hurt, I don't want to play. Well, if you do play, this will happen or whatever. You know what I mean? He's good at winning them over, I guess. And so is that something that Matt Hampshire could have maybe done better at without knowing the details yourself?
I think, listen, I feel for Amy, right? Because, and I do, and I am a Rotherham fan, and I get that he should have been sacked 5 months sooner than what he was, just because in football, like, I like him, he's my mate, like, he's a friend through football, should I say. Like, we don't speak to each other often, but I respect him for what he's done and what he continues to try to do. Now, I don't think he were backed how previous managers probably would have been backed. I don't think that he had the opportunity to bring in the good eggs, and he took gambles and risks on some bad eggs. And he had to do that. And then he didn't get, if he needed to go and get centre half, because I even spoke to him away at Northampton. And I said to him, I think you need to go and get centre half. Like, look, between me and you need to go get one. He went, I ain't got the funds to get it. I cannot get one. Like, we want one. I'm looking. And I was like, well, just tell the fans that then. Like, he went, I can't tell the fans that. Like, it's not. And it's just, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I do feel for him. And I feel like someone's kind of got to have a little bit of a voice for him, because he knew what he needed. He just couldn't, he didn't get the tools to do it.
Yeah.
So, but, and the flip side, like I just said to you before, I understand that he probably should have lost his job 5 months sooner, but Rotherham weren't in a position to give someone else the job and give them the tools that they needed. So we've got to look at it from a bit of a bigger picture, take a step back and go, yeah, the here and now is wrong and he's changing. But the next guy who comes in is going to have the exact same problems. And I know you're talking about Neil Warnock, but I think the lad's down tools. And them lads aren't there anymore. And I think that they were throwing injuries in, and they just weren't, they didn't care for the badge. And that's the hardest bit, like, because if you're not from that place, how you'd say they're a professional footballer, they've got to care for the badge. And they do to a certain point. And then when they see that things aren't going their way, and they can throw an injury in, or I can phone in for a sickness day, and I don't need to really, and fans are booing, because the fans did really get on the team and the management. They did. And like, and that's all right, really, because the circumstances dictated that. But ultimately, I think that it could have been, the backlash could have been in a more positive way from the fans to the team, because I don't think it were really the team that were the problem. in terms of that the management knew what the team needed and they couldn't do anything about it because they didn't have it from the powers that be.
Okay.
So stop booing the players and the staff and start asking questions. That's just football these days, isn't it?
Okay, I'll get back to the comments. So YCC and RUFC. A question for Ryan. I remember Steve Evans saying in the press he was going to build a team around you. So what happened?
Yeah. A bit. Do you know what? I read the exact same story, and I got told the exact same thing to my face. And then a week before pre-season started, so in the season before, I had to have a metal plate in my shoulder, and I ruptured both my ankle ligaments at separate times. All in tackles for Rotherham United, not from pulling out of a tackle, not from not wanting to play. So the Chesterfield away game, I'm going to give you an example. Chesterfield away when we got absolutely towelled. Yeah, I trained for 4 days. I'd been out for 3 months, got a metal plate in my shoulder, and Ronnie said, "I need you to play." Nowadays, the S&C and the medical team, they wouldn't allow it, right? But I said, "Yeah, I'll play." I said, "Gaffer, I've trained for 4 days. I've been going to gym, but I'm nowhere near it." He said, "I need you." I said, "I'm there then." So I went and did that. But anyway, coming back towards Steve Evans, he then said to me that you don't play enough games. I said, "I'll show you that I'll play enough games." I said, "I've had 3 bad injuries from 3 tackles, putting my body on the line for the club. Like, don't put me under that. Don't tie me with that brush." And he went, "Look, I'm going to put you on transfer list." This is a week before pre-season. And I said, "All right, put me on transfer list." I said, "But I'll still play come August." Like, I went, "It's no problem. No skin off my nose. I'll come and prove to you." "No, you won't. I won't give you a squad number." We had a bit of a falling out on the phone. Like, he were trying to, I don't want to say bully, but it's just a tactic in it. He were trying to be quite abusive down the phone. So I hung the phone up, and he hung the phone up, and then a circular went out to everyone in the Football League, and that's when Southend reached out, and that's when Coco come back from when I played with Coco initially, when I come on loan, and I went and met Paul Sturrock, and yeah, I signed for Southend, and then I went on to play 54 games, and got in the PFA team of the year, and I just thought I could have done that for Rotherham, but Steve Evans just didn't. I think he thought the risk of me getting injured and missing 6 months of a 9-month season just weren't feasible for the club, and I get that, but I went and proved it wrong anyway.
Okay, fair enough then. I was actually going to ask a question on that. I forgot what I was going to say. I'll move on. Let's get to the next question. Callum IFC, Ryan, give us a prediction where Rotherham will be by the end of this season.
I think it all depends on what happens at the club. I think because if you'd have asked me this question 3 weeks ago, I would have said survival is key. But now, having seen the business done in the last probably 10 days, and hearing that there's potential funds coming into the club and whatnot, I think there's a real chance. I think that we've got a young, hungry manager that is desperate for success, that has got really good staff with experience around him. And if you look at the recruitment of players, it's different to last year. These are young, hungry players that do want to develop, and they are almost coming. They're coming to use Rotherham as a stepping stone, but also to take Rotherham to the next level. And I think we have to be aware of that's what we are. If a player comes to Rotherham and he absolutely tears it up in centre mid, the chances are Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United are going to be stiffing. And we've just got to be realistic with that. And I think that these players that we've brought in have probably got an opportunity to be them players. So hopefully, if all goes well with the club, and the infrastructure becomes more stable and the backing becomes a little bit more gradually, we could see a playoffs finish. Hopefully, I'm being optimistic, because 3 weeks ago I would have said survival is key.
Yeah. Okay, not a question, but just a nice message from Craig the Miller. Captain fantastic. If only we had a centre half like you for this season with the grit and determination to fight for us. Missing someone like you around the club. Our loss is Doncaster's gain.
That's really nice. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Craig. I appreciate.
another one who's
appreciate
asking where you're going to finish, but you've already answered that one.
Yeah.
Nick, can you ask Ryan where he got those curtains? My nan's after some stuff.
So I know Nick, right? Jenks, yeah, I know Nick. They're the only blackout ones that they had in the shop, Jenks, it gets too light in here in the morning. Yeah, but he is right. They're a little bit like my dressing gown as well, to be honest.
Jake, funny enough, Ryan, I took a picture of you at Bradford Park, haven't you?
Yeah. I remember up there. Yeah, that's right.
You played for Bradford Park, didn't you?
Yeah, I went up there for a little bit when I come out of the full-time game, but I didn't really last in the non-league scene. I weren't really in the right mental place. Listen, great little club, fantastic people around it. The fans are the diehards, and the non-league scene. I love it now. I mean, I never really took an interest because I'm too busy within the full-time football. But it's where football is. I think you can go to a non-league game now and you can get right stuck in. You can enjoy it. It's a little bit of a throwback to probably 6-7 years ago of the professional game.
Yeah.
Okay, Jake, again, very well spoken. Ryan, just shows what a top professional you are. Hopefully see you managing soon. And I am going to ask that actually. So you've obviously moved to Doncaster. Are you still looking to get back into management anytime soon, or are you just happy where you are?
Do you know what? Do you know the mad thing is, right? When I left Matlock back in March the other year, I went into Rotherham United and I was coaching with the 16s, just to get used to the sessions and the setup and stuff. I want to get into management. When you're out of football, you don't get very many opportunities, and when you're in football, your phone rings. So the last 3 weeks, I've had quite a few phone calls of people asking me my situation and if I could make it work and if I could do something with them and if I can to go and be a manager again. Now, I told myself that I want to give myself this season to go and develop as a coach on the grass, on the admin side of it, uploading my sessions and getting a portfolio put together of what I truly believe, rather than just leading a picture for other coaches to run. Just so I can get a broader frame of mind and a clearer picture of what I'd expect. But the end goal is to be a manager or to be a head coach and be around the staff full time. That would be something that I want.
I do think Grant McCann's probably a great person to kind of learn from as well. Yeah. I really rate him as a manager. He's probably not. Is he that much older than yourself, Grant? I'm not sure. Is he?
No, I played against him early when I was young in my career, and we've had conversations like I won't say daily, but we do see each other daily. But we've had conversations throughout this pre-season on beliefs and philosophies and styles and ways, and it all boils down to the players. You can have a style, but if that style don't suit the players, I mean, look at this is a bit of a big example, but Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, did not come away from his philosophy, even though it's quite clear that what the players needed wasn't what he was offering. And then Michael Carrick comes in and he does the opposite. He does what suits this group of players that I've got to get the best out of them for Manchester United, and he implemented that, and they went on a run. And it's like, don't try and reinvent the wheel. And I think Grant, me seeing him daily and seeing how he conducts himself around the players and on the grass and the way, and just hearing how he speaks to them over lunch, and it's a learning curve for me. And I'm thoroughly enjoying being in that setting of full-time football.
Okay, YCC, thanks you for your answer about Steve Evans. Tom Swift, you say Hamshot wasn't back, but he was. He got to bring Tom Holmes in, which was a disaster. Then he was back in January and still was a disaster. I think, I'll let you respond to that one.
No, I get. Do you know what? Right, I get some frustrations with it, but so what you're telling me there is he's got back with two players and it didn't work. Now, a club like Rotherham last year needed a budget, a stability plan, and a plan to push on. And I feel like, I don't know this, right? This is only my opinion. As a fan that goes as often as I possibly can. I mean, I went on Saturday to the last 40 minutes of the game just because I had to get back from Stockport. I went to Doncaster's first team game just so I could get an eye on what the new manager has assembled. So I appreciate that what we're saying is he was backed. He wasn't backed with the funds that I think we expect, or that we would come to expect. And if you're on a limited limited resources, you're getting limited players. And if you're then chasing and you want experience, you ain't getting it, because the experienced lads are going, I'm not going there, especially in January.
Yeah.
Or the only reason they are coming is for a little bit of a last paycheck. And we need to come away from being that. And I think that that's what the current manager's doing, is come completely away from that. I read a story about some experienced centre-half, and he's now gone, I don't want an experienced centre-half. I'm happy to work with what I've got and develop these players. Now, I've seen quite a lot of the successful teams in League Two, League One over the last few years, and they've got young, hungry, up-and-coming centre-halves, because the speed in which the game's played at is a lot faster than what maybe an experienced one can handle. And I think we've been guilty of that over probably the last 5 years of being adamant that we want some experience and then not being back with it, or being back with it and then it's gone wrong. And then we're asking for it last year. He's not got that back in and it's still gone wrong. So it's just about balance, timing, luck. There's a lot of things to put in place. Do I think that Amshaw probably had enough? Yeah. Do you think he wanted to wake up every day and he were bouncing out the house to get to training?
No.
Probably not. Again, I don't know for facts, but I'm just going off how I would feel. And if I were leaving my house here in Swinton, right, and I had fans booing me on my way to work, and I'm coming through the gates at Roundwood, and there's people there slamming on fences and like, get out of this club and what you're doing here. Do you really think that he's mentally in the right place? He can say he is, but he ain't. And that's the hard thing. And that's why I feel for him, because he only wanted success, desperate for it, desperate, and didn't get backed like previous managers. I appreciate that you're saying he got backed somewhat, but I think he could have been probably supported a little bit better, and maybe not being fed to the lions as brutal as he was. But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that from seeing what I've seen in the game.
Just a couple more then, Ryan, then we'll let you go. Jake, on your seat, what did it mean to you to play for your hometown club, Rotherham United? I can only dream of doing it.
So there's a bit of a backstory here. So Rotherham United reserves, Sheffield United reserves, we played at Millmoor, and I was absolutely buzzing. And I remember the lads taking a piss, my teammates at Sheffield United, like, Cress, you love this, don't you? And I'm like, mate, I am buzzing to play on this pitch, because I'd only ever stood in the Tivoli or just on the little bit outside with my uncle and my cousin. And so half time in that game, Mark Robbins come to our dressing room, tapped on the door, spoke to the academy manager, the reserve manager, and said, centre half, Creswell, we want him on loan. So they pulled me off at half time in the game, and I went to speak to Mark Robbins, and he said, big man, we want you on loan. Like what we see, great first half. And I was like, 100%. Like, if the club is saying yeah, I'm saying yeah. Like, it's a no-brainer. And then on the Saturday, we were at home at Millmoor, and I didn't tell anyone. And the news didn't hit the press. I think it might have come out like last minute. So I've come out for the warm-up, and my uncle and my cousin, and I got family members that didn't know that I'd signed, because I didn't tell them. I thought I'm just going to surprise them when I run out. So I've run out and I'm waving to him, and he goes, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm pretty good, dickheads, you know, all this." And do you know what? It were a dream come true. It really were. And I know that, like, some ex-teammates of mine that have heard me say this in the past, they hammer me for it. But I am a Rotherham United fan. I have been since I was 9-10 year old, and I still am now. You don't change your allegiances for a club. It's just to then when Ronnie Moore came back and offered me the captaincy and a 3-year contract and let's go get promotion. Like, yeah,
Perfect,
I had the fire in my belly and I wanted to come and make it work.
Cool. Right, I'll do this last one and then we'll let you go, Ryan. Rob Clutton. Would Ryan agree, but young players just want to stay at the big clubs, picking up good wages, playing under 21 football, getting their backsides wiped, rather than getting out playing regularly?
Yeah. So what I say with this, having seen it from the inside and looking at it from the outside, is that the under 18s, so you're talking 17 and 18-year-olds, they've got to be ready for first team football if there's no in between, if there's no 21s. Now, what I'm not saying that this 21s group needs big wages. I'm not. And I'm not saying that this 21s group needs to stay in a 21s league in that football club. So if Rotherham United had a 21s, I would expect 90% of them 21s to go on loan to non-league clubs at step 4, step 3, step 2, and step 1, especially now we're in League 2, to continue the development. Because you see players at 18, like you see me at 18, I played right back because I weren't physically ready for League 2 as a centre half. So I played right back, and then I got dipped in at centre half and dipped in, and it took me another 2.5 years after that loan spell to become a regular at that level. So in that 2.5 year period, what Rotherham haven't got at the minute, from 18 to 20, or even 19 to 21, they ain't got that facility for these players. So you're losing players. Where they're going into non-league, and then they have to get a job and a career, and they kind of get lost. So what I'm saying is, if you could have an under 21s level, it's just the old reserve league. You have more numbers in your squad. Yeah, the money's a little bit less. You're not, but when you're an 18-year-old coming through fighting for your first professional contract, you're not fighting for the money. You're fighting for the contract.
Yeah.
It's not until later, when you've made a few appearances in first team, or you're in and around the first team daily, that you have an agent that starts going, what can we get for this kid? What more can we get? And then I see your comment, Rob, in terms of, especially at the big clubs, they're picking big wages up and they don't really go and play much football. But at levels like League 1 and League 2 and even Championship, you need that reserve /21s to give the players time to develop, because you're all right having them from 7-year-old to 18, and then just because the last 2 years of their growth into becoming a man, you ain't got that facility.
Yeah.
You're losing the potential to have someone. So but I do get it. It comes at a cost. I think the running costs today apparently around about 700 grand a year for a 21s team, which is astronomical, really. But it only takes one player to come through in your 21s in 3 or 4 years, and you make your money back. So that's the gamble. That's the gamble in it. Or if you've got a manager that's going, I need a striker, and he's going to cost $500,000 a year. Would you rather would he rather have £500,000 to spend on a striker in January to keep you safe, or would you rather invest that $500,000 into a 21 squad in the hope that maybe someone might come through? It's just too cutthroat and too quick today in football for people to actually want to be a part of a journey. We want success tonight, don't we? We want Rotherham to be promoted. We want Rotherham to be promoted by Christmas, like we do. But it's just not going to happen.
Right, excellent. Well, first of all, everyone who's commented, I do appreciate your comments. So I do apologise if I've not read them all out, but I did promise Ryan that I won't keep him too much longer than half an hour, and he has done 45 minutes, to be fair. So, Ryan, really appreciate you coming on. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and obviously Pete as well. Thanks for getting Ryan on. Hopefully, Ryan, we'll see you at the games. And if you're going to, I assume when Doncaster aren't playing, that is.
I will absolutely be at the games, mate, for sure. Pete, I'll see you at a run probably next week when my ankle's back fit. I just want to say that I've got involved a little bit with Rotherham United women, and I know that this isn't that show, right? I get it. But what I would love to see is the people that are listening to this, please come to a game. Please just support, because they are now becoming a pathway to kind of mirror the men's, and hopefully in the next few months you'll see a massive progression from that side of the club. I know it's not involved with the men's yet, but hopefully it will be. So please support them as well. And if I see you at a game, come and ask me a question. If you want to know any inside stories on my time at Rotherham, I am more than happy to come and talk to you.
Brilliant. And thanks for the message, Ryan. We second that as well. We've got 1,200 people in watching, so hopefully a few of them have took that on board, Ryan. So
brilliant.
Once again, really appreciate you coming on. Thank you. And hopefully see you at a game soon. Cheers, Ryan. See you later.
Cheers. See you, chaps.
Right then, we are down now to me and Pete. We have got a couple more lads coming in, and here is one of them. That is Jake, and we are also waiting for Nelson. As Nelson joins, what we're going to do is there are a lot of comments which I need to go through, because I did say I would read every comment out. First of all, Pete, did you see any of the game on Saturday?
I got about 40 minutes on my break. I didn't really see it. We're on night, so I didn't really see it all.
Do you want to? I'm going to come Jake anyway. So Pete, first of all, as we welcome Nelson. Nelson, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good.
Good. So Pete, just quickly, just sum up your thoughts on Saturday's 4-1 defeat, and just what did you think? And
what I saw, and against boys, won it. Obviously, we're a new team, we're trying to gel, but don't get me wrong, their championship, I didn't expect us to go and blast them out, Watter. I didn't think we were going to win anyway. Also, we need time to gel. Once we get it right, I think we'll be okay, I think we'll still smash League Two. That's my personal opinion. So the
4-1 defeat, and to be fair, I even said on my post-match that I actually thought West Brom were incredible. I thought they played really well, to be fair to him. I'm not saying we made it easy, we made it difficult for him, but I thought they're excellent. So Saturday's performance doesn't put you off, suggesting that Rotherham will still finish towards the top.
We just need time, there's a lot of new faces, and the coaching team will get it right, mate. Obviously, there's been reported we've got some more investment coming in, obviously from non-bay money. So yeah, I'm quite still confident, mate. Even if we lose at Cheltenham, I'm still confident. We just need the time to gel.
Okay. Jake, I'll come to you now. I know that you said you had a lot to say. I'm actually trying to find like a 5-camera video as well, which I can't find because we've got another lad who's joining us. So, Jake, while I try and sort this out, do you want to just give me your thoughts on the game against West Brom? And, does it affect your opinion of where Rotherham will finish at the end of the season?
I don't know why my mic just finished then.
Yeah, I don't know why you're live, yeah.
Good start, but all I'm going to say, it's a 3-8. West Brom, honestly, I really think they'll do well this season. I think easily playoffs, absolutely outclassed us in every aspect of the game. But we have positives, of course, the high press, of course, the players need to gel. So I'm not really put off by the result. Losing 4-1 isn't the best result for us, but I believe in Alex Bruce, so let's get behind him, boys. Let's give him some positivity and let's back him. That's what I say.
Okay. Nelson, your last one. Your thoughts from Saturday. Obviously, Rotherham losing 4-1 and getting knocked out of the cup. Obviously, I've seen that West Brom have drawn Newcastle away, which is a bit heart-wrenching. That would have been a good away day, but it is what it is. So, Nelson, what were your thoughts on the game?
We were just sloppy in defence. We looked really good going forward, but just sloppy in defence. Sort defence out, and we'll be fine, I reckon. But it's like what Bruce said in his interview. We're not going to cope against teams that much quality this season, so I think we'll be all right this year.
Okay, interesting. Right, if I add, he's not going to come on. I need to add Finlay to this. So
are you trying to set up the other camera, Bez?
Yeah, I just need a 5th slot. If you do you know how to do it yourself, or?
Oh no, I'll just ask.
I've got Leo. I've got 6 in now. I mean,
Oh,
I'm just going to
6.
I'm going to temporarily remove a couple of you. Don't worry, you'll
Yeah,
stay
that's
in the
fine.
thing. But I need to. Yeah. So I've got Finley. So Finley, welcome. You are a new member of the KB Terrace Talk podcast. So first of all, before we talk about Rotherham West Brom, do you want to introduce yourself and give us a bit of information about yourself? How old you are? Do you get to games? That sort of thing.
Well, hello. Obviously, some of you may know as a Rotherham rapper. My name's Finley. I've been doing music, obviously, for 6 years. I've been a Rotherham fan since like I was little, thanks to me, obviously, Dad taking me to games. Obviously, the last game I actually went to with Donny last season before we got relegated, and under Hampshire, I didn't think we were confident, but I'm confident about Bruce. But we just need to get into the play styles of what he wants to play. So I think this season we'll finish about playoffs potentially.
Playoffs, okay. And on Saturday, then, so obviously Rotherham lost quite comfortably to West Brom. What were your thoughts on that game?
Well, I'll say it again. Obviously, it's not. Bruce has been in. Yeah, he's been in for a couple of months. He's managed about 6 games, I think, so far. So obviously the team's not used to how he plays yet. Obviously, he's had a couple of new signings, and that's brilliant. Obviously, the signings he's bringing in, but obviously he needs to bring some more signings in for that team to look solid.
Excellent. Okay. Right, Finley, don't go anywhere. Just wait there because I will keep you in the lobby. Don't you worry. And I'll keep Nelson in. Right, what we're going to do is, because I will sort the cameras out, but I'll have to do it offline. So we've only really got probably 10, 15 minutes. Obviously, Ryan did last a bit longer than I expected. Did someone going to say something?
Can I just...
I can go off there, so let others ones. I've been on, I can go off if you want. Let others come on.
Are you sure, Pete? Okay.
Pete,
That'll sort me out.
Say one more thing.
Go on,
honestly,
Jake.
Pete, big up for you for getting Ryan Cresswell on. Honestly, Pete, without you, I wouldn't have got him on.
Good bloke, Ryan. Yeah, right, lads.
Take care, Pete.
Cheers, Pete. Right, so Pete's gone. So I've also got as well, Leo's come on. Leo, are you joining the podcast as well, sir?
He's gone mute.
No, you're not joining the podcast. He's not joining. So we'll keep Finley in. Right, we've got us 4 now. So I don't really know what's going on. It's a really crazy stream. Let's get through some of these comments because there's quite a lot. So Kaylee Wilson, are any more players coming in? Kaylee, I hope so. I don't know when they'll come in, but I do hope that some are coming in soon. You say 4 or 5? Yeah, I imagine it will be 4 or 5. Ben, evening everyone. What a legend. I think that's referring to Mr. Creswell. Yeah. Kaylee thinks we need a midfielder, a striker, a centre-back, a winger, and a goalkeeper. Yeah. What is your fantasy team, Lee? Are you okay, Bez? And Lee, how are you doing today? Lee, have you ever seen Friday come out next year, Ice Cube? Yeah, Lee's not on this one, Kaylee. He's just taking a bit of a rest. We've done quite a lot of videos this week, obviously trying to get prepared for the season. So Lee's not actually on. So when Lee's on next, you can ask him the questions about your fantasy team and what have you. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Kaylee, what is your team for Saturday? I'll start with Nelson. So Nelson, what would your team be for Saturday?
Right, I'd stick with formation 4-3-3. I'd go, well, hopefully new keeper in net. Don't care who it is, as long as it's not Poppadom hands, as I call him.
I'm back.
Right, and I'd go left back. Finn might disagree with me on this one. I know he's offering for Brandon Williams to sign. Right, I'm going to go Otto left back, Rafferty right back for a bit of experience. Your two centre halves being I'd go with that new lad, even though he's not played, and I'd go. Who were at centre half with him? Oh, it was
Joffrey.
Yeah.
Oh, Joffrey, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go in. Then middle 3 of Ashley, Jealous, Bence. Top player. Fabio's got to start. He'll mint Mullin, and I'd stick with Gilly, Sheffield United kid. That's where I'd go.
Okay. We'll move on. Hope you're okay, Bez and Leo. You're doing a great job with the podcast. One of my favourite shows. Keep it up, lads. Keep it going, and never let anyone let let anyone talk you down. I think keep up the hard work and the best podcast, KB. Yeah, Kaylee, really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. My favourite, Liam Bez, you're the best. Yeah, Kaylee, thank you again. Callum, Upton Mills watching the Exeter Plymouth game. How are they getting on, Callum? Callum thinks he'll smash League Two. Kaylee, you're doing amazing. Yeah, thank you. And Nicola, Trinity Kingsbush, where is he? Again, he's just having a bit of a rest. Nicola, I know he's the main man, but he's just having a bit of a rest. Kaylee, better than New York talk. That's boring. This better podcast and more interesting, more entertaining. Callum, West Brom got Newcastle in round 2. Imagine if we got them, if we did beat West Brom. Of all you three, actually, were you old enough to go to Newcastle and played them about 10 years ago?
I know we lost 5-1, but I
went
4-0. 4-0.
I went.
Yeah. So Nelson went. So Jake, you're a bit gutted then that Rotherham have lost to West Brom, who have then got Newcastle in next round, are you?
Mate, I'm gutted because, like I say, St James's Park, beautiful stadium. Of course, I've been in Newcastle. I've seen the ground. I think it's one of the best stadiums in England, personally. So it's just a shame. Hopefully next, maybe FA Cup, we might verse them. Hopefully, be good to see.
Okay. And thanks, Nelson, for just showing us the Plymouth Exeter score, still 0-0. Callum, that was a Ryan question. Paul, I've been told that Wildsmith is not coming, and now we are getting a young goalkeeper on loan from Brentford. Yes, Paul, I believe that is correct. I believe that Wildsmith isn't coming to Rotherham United, and we are getting a young American goalkeeper. Jake, do you know anything about the goalkeeper we get in? Or
Julian Eyestone, of course, interesting name. He's an American lad, come from the American academy. Of course, the main man just joined us.
I just thought I'd drop in.
God.
You know what I mean? I just thought I'd drop into this crazy show with some crazy Rotherham fans. Great interview, Bez. Well done with Ryan Creswell. Great insight. I'm disappointed you didn't ask him if you thought my comments about him being a big boy were a bit harsh, but you know,
I would have asked that.
We know him as big boy, and that's what he's going to be known as for me. But yeah, like I said, we have done a prediction league, and I've predicted Rotherham as champions, 100 points plus. We're not worried about League Two. Look at them teams in it. It's like Car Park League. Chesterfield,
Newport and Accrington.
Yeah, I mean, Chesterfield, they live in Tesco's car park, man. Do you know what I mean? They ain't competing with us. They can't live with us. So I thought I'd come join you because I think it's been a really good show. Obviously, I'm going to be doing some more recorded stuff with Bez straight after this. So I'll let you guys crack on, but I just thought I'd come and say hello because I am tapping away in the background doing stuff. Yeah. But good to see Nelson.
Yeah.
I like your music, kid. Keep it going.
Finley, Finley.
Like I said, support him. He's a young up-and-coming rapper. So it's nice to see people from Rotherham doing good things. So I think we need to support him. The thing with Rotherham people, sometimes they don't support each other. That's what we need to start and do these days. Support each other, because end of the day, it's a tough town. It's a tough place to be brought up. I was brought up in Sheffield, so you can boo me for that. But my dad's born and bred in Rotherham. I've got family in Rotherham, and I've supported Rotherham all my life. And I went to school in Sheffield, so that's how I learned how to fight, because I was the only Rotherham fan in Sheffield. They all wanted to beat me up. They all wanted to beat me up. So no, honestly, guys, just keep supporting each other. And like I said, I've seen some of his TikTok raps, and they are good. So go over and listen to that. Right, guys, I'll see you after, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, Lee. Yeah. See you later. Yeah. Just to back up kind of what Lee was saying as well there, actually, although he's messed up my we'll have to leave it at that because he's messed it up. Yeah.
It'll do.
Yeah, he'll do. Yeah. So I can confirm that we have done like a prediction table, what will be released tomorrow, me and Lee has got spoiler alert, he has got Rotherham winning the league. I've not got Rotherham winning the league, but you have to wait until tomorrow to find out where I put Rotherham. Okay. Arthur Bushy, where were all the Rotherham fans at West Bromwich Albion game? To be fair, Arthur, it was just a reserved pre-season game for us. So, and it did feel like a pre-season game. I was actually quite surprised. That West Brom took a lot of fans, to be honest, because it wasn't a big game. Rotherham's played West Brom a few times in the last 5 or 6 years. So I was actually surprised at how many fans West Brom took. Callum, don't like it. He's talking about someone else there. Motox, Leicester won the Premier League on Heart and Desire. That is correct, Motox, they did. I think, again, he was just referring to something that Ryan Creswell said. Callum, I just hope Alex Bruce is not going to happen the same to him. He's on about Matt Hamshaw there. Ryan, just hope I won't mess up for the plan for the season. Ryan, did you hear about Hamshaw going to Wednesday? I didn't ask him that. My apologies, Callum. Rob, evening, lads. I listened to the posh owner on TalkSport in the morning. He's brilliant. He says the competition Sam plays is ridiculous these days. The wages, dealing with players, agents, etc. And you're right, actually, Rob. That podcast that the Peterborough chairman does, Darren McCanton, is excellent. And I would urge any football fan, even if you're a Premier League fan, I'd urge you to listen to it because it is a really good listen. So thanks there for your comment. Callum wants Creswell in his coach. Rotherham boys, evening lads, up the mills, get out of dirty Donny. Crazy, yeah. I don't think I could have said that to him, to be fair. Love Ryan. Oh, is that you, is it? Yeah, sorry. Scott, love Ryan, quality no nonsense defender, diehard Miller, proper shade listening to how it ended. Would love a leader like him now. Well said there, Ryan. If we saw Paul Warren, where do you think we'd be now?
Premier League.
Well done to the voice of reason for getting Ryan on to do this. Being a brilliant episode. I'm glad you enjoyed it, YCC, and that was a great question that you asked as well. You were absolutely spot on with MH Ryan. So Kelly, I know he was a bit of a Hampshire fan, so listening to Ryan and Ryan's point of view probably tweaked Kelly for his interest. Brilliant guy. He was a brilliant guy, Millie. You're right. Just seeing West Brom got Newcastle away, I'm gutted. Yeah, we had a few who were gutted, unfortunately, Miller's tie-dye. Ben Goodcock, what a legend. Hey, up to Jake.
Right, Callum.
I still got Rowan to win the league, and that's Ben. From what I've heard, ownership-wise, 2 bidders are in Tobias. What isn't fully confirmed. And does anyone actually know? I mean, I don't really know who to ask this question to. Does anyone know where we are in terms of the club being bought or purchased?
It's just gone
anyone
quiet.
at all?
Just gone quiet after
it's
that.
It's just gone quiet. Do you think something's still happening in the background then, or are we not sure?
I think personally it's died off.
Just
wait to see what happens, isn't it?
Just wait and see what happens, yeah. Finley, what do you think? I mean, obviously you're new to this, so am I right in thinking you're not a Stuart fan, or would you like to see Stuart stay? What's your thoughts on the situation?
I don't mind. It depends how he treats the club at the end of the day. I think we're an owner. If he brings money into the club, he gets the right signings and he gets all right, obviously all behind scenes with club, it's fine by me for him to stay.
Ooh,
okay,
fair enough. I said that.
Go on then, Nelson. You can respond to him. He's your friend, so I'll let you respond to him. What's your thoughts on what Finley said there?
Well, I respect him for what he's done, but it's time up. Get out.
There we go. As simple as that. Let's back Bruce. He's young and wants the best for us and him. Hello, Finley.
All right, Cal.
Ben Woodcock, outstanding show. Yeah, thanks, Ben. Miller, what's your thoughts on the new goalkeeper who's supposed to be signed from Brentford? Jake, I think he mentioned that earlier, Miller. So if you can go back maybe 5 or 10 minutes, Jake's giving you a little insight into him. Mills and Morris is all over the place. It is a little bit Mills and Morris, but we're not. We aren't talking about aliens, though, at least. That is one thing. Hadders 83. Do we think Mullin and Rafferty will play enough to be captain? If not, who would you have chosen? And actually, I'm glad he's brought this up, Hadders. So the latest, the confirmation from the club is that Rafferty will be the club captain, but Mullin will be the on-field captain. I'll start with you, Jake. What's your thoughts on this news?
I'm going to be brutal. I don't want to see Rafferty in a Rotherham shirt again, to be honest, mate. I think we should have let him go. I don't even want to see him on bench.
But he's not. But he's only club captain. He's not so the captain on the pitch is going to be Paul Mullin.
Oh, Paul Mullin.
So to me, what the reason I've done this is I would suggest that Rafferty isn't going to play. It's going to be Denzel Hall.
Yeah, I really want Denzel Hall starting, to be honest. I think he's way too good for League Two. Definitely a League One player. Of course, Preston were after him at one point, and never know, he might end up signing later on.
Go on, Nelson.
I like Denzel. For me, it were all right. It were all right Saturday, a bit shaky, but I suppose that he's just getting used to it. Because when he were fully fit, we didn't use him as a natural wing back. We used as a natural right back. It was more of a attacking wing back. But no, I like Denzel a lot. And I think the reason we've kept hold of him is probably because of his injury record last season, which is big. But he's going to be a player that definitely makes his money.
Okay, fair enough then. So I'll ask you, Finley, then. So we'll all answer this, actually. But Hadders has said, if you don't think Mullin or Rafferty should be captain, who would you have chosen? So who would have been your captain this season?
Do you know what? I'm happy with Mullin being captain because obviously he's around in his 30s, in the early 30s, so he's had experience. He's obviously knows how to score goals, knows how to get him in back at net. Obviously, he's been at Wrexham, been at Bradford, so he knows his way around EFL. So he's got that EFL experience. So I think he'll be fine as captain.
Fair enough. Jake, what's your thoughts? Who would you have chosen as captain?
Paul Mullin for me. Has to be. No one else is really. Everyone else is young, really. If you look into the squad, so for me, Paul Mullin.
He's not a youngster then, and I one's just popped into my head, and he's only a young lad, but like you said, a lot of them are. That I think this guy is captain material. So before I say him, is anyone, Jake, you could think of who in the squad, even though they're young, could still be captain and do a good job?
Spence. I think Spence personally.
Right, so you've gone Spence, and Nelson, you went Jealous, did you say?
So Jealous is captained us through. He's captained a few games in. I think he captained us against Derby, against Sheffield.
Okay, interesting. See, I actually watching the Derby pre-season game. I actually thought Al Joffrey was showing leadership on the pitch personally, and I would have looked at him to be captain. Yeah, and this is what I mean. Spence and Jess obviously in the mid-20s, late 20s, and I was trying to get you to pick a youngster, like a 21, 22-year-old. That's who I was trying to get you to say, I guess, really. He probably is still too young, though, to be fair. Right, let's move on. Callum, Paul Mullin, Tom Bradshaw start every game. Do you think that'll happen? No?
Not Tom Bradshaw.
I see him rotating.
Bench player.
Okay. Callum's gone 4-4-2. Sorry, 4-4-2, I think it's meant to be. He's got Mullin and Bradshaw up front. Thoughts on that?
Don't mind it.
You don't mind it? Okay. Then he's changed to 4. Yeah, then he's changed to 4-2-3-1, maybe. I think that's what they're probably playing at the minute, can't be fair. Ben Woodcott's got 4-3-2-1.
Yeah.
That rumour is from Paul Davis. I'm not sure what that is referring to. The goalkeeper, fair enough. And obviously he's laughing at Chesterfield Tesco.
FC.
Didn't Finley say about killing folk? Did he? I don't know. I missed that if he did. So I don't know what's so funny. He laughed at something else.
Is he on about the rap? Of course.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Scott Kent, what do you think you do? Keep the lads again. We've answered that, Scott. So if you want to go back and listen, that's fine. Callum, it's still 0-0 between Plymouth and Exeter. Rotherham games is happening. Hull City owners have made an offer. Smith isn't fully confirmed. So again, I'm not really sure. That's obviously to do
I don't
with
want
taking over.
I don't want Hull City's owners. I can't stand them. They're rubbish.
Yeah. Okay.
Turkish
And yeah, wait for it to confirm. I just wonder if this one is someone we know. By the way, didn't see the insight from Jake on the keepers week. That's fine. Alfie Nelson, what do you think about the youth in the team? What do you think to the youth players? I mean, you might as well answer it anyway. It's a genuine question.
We've got it's good to have youth in your team. It's like if I don't know how many of you lads watch Bruce's interviews, but what I tend to do is I like to watch Bruce's interviews over and over just to make sure I know what he's said about it. And he said, when it comes to this experienced defender, he said, I don't want one of them because I don't want to. It's all well and good getting experienced legs, but what if the experienced lad he brings in, his legs are gone and he's going to play 2-3 games a season? Something I don't want this season is injuries behind us.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I want to put that behind us. But yeah.
Scott Kent, I'd have gone Mullin, captain, Jellis, vice captain. So again, I think a lot of the lads can do agree with that. Yeah, Bricktop says evening chats. I mean, Bricktop, we are unfortunately just about to finish. We've done an hour and about 15 minutes. You have actually missed as well Ryan Creswell, who was on for the first 45 minutes of the show. So make sure you go back and watch the podcast from the beginning, because Ryan Creswell is on for the first 45 minutes. Callum is saying Rotherham 2, Cheltenham 0. I'm not actually going to do predictions now, because we have got another show on Thursday, so we'll do all our predictions on Thursday. Danny says he's got his Cheltenham ticket.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, well done. I'll see you there, Danny. And Bricktop, no worries, pal. Yeah, I'll watch from start. Yeah, cheers, mate. Right, we'll leave it there. Finlay, cheers for joining your first ever podcast. Welcome. Yeah.
Welcome in.
Jake, as always, thank you again for your insight, as always. Yeah. I don't know where Nelson's gone. He's just kind of disappeared. So I'll say cheers to Nelson. Yeah, the aliens have took him. That's right. Yeah, the aliens have took him. Yeah. I like that, Jake. I like that. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So everyone who's interacted or watched, so any of your comments, really appreciate you tuning in. We have had quite a lot. I've had around 13 to 1,400 views at one point. So really do appreciate that. Yeah. I have also got an update as well on our competition. We have actually now reached the 2,000 mark. So what we're going to do, on Thursday's show, I'm going to announce the competition on there. All you have to do is answer the question that we provide. Ensure you're following myself, Bushy, and also KB Terrace Talk on YouTube. If you enter and you win, we'll obviously draw names out of a hat. If you win, you get £100 voucher for any club shots. So for Huddersfield, you get that voucher. For Rotherham, you get that voucher. For Barnsley, you get that voucher, so on and so forth. So make sure you tune in to Thursday's episode, because that is when we'll be announcing the competition. Once again, I appreciate everyone joining. Nelson, who's like here, Finlay, Jake. We'll leave it there. As we always end the show, up the Millers. See you all later.
Up the Millers. See you Thursday,
Bye.
mate.
The Millers.
Right.